Everyone talks about how AI helps us, right? But honestly, nobody talks about the real danger. AI can now create fake videos, fake voices, and even totally fake identities that you literally cannot tell apart from reality. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the hidden, compounding risks of artificial intelligence as we navigate through 2026. Misinformation is spreading faster than ever before. We're looking at a future where the real threat isn't some cinematic robot uprising. It's the quiet, everyday erosion of our truth, our privacy, and honestly, our own minds. People are just starting to trust AI content without actually checking the facts. And the societal consequences? Well, they're way more severe and much more subtle than we realize.
Okay, let's get into part one, the empathy illusion.
So there's this thing called generative AI emotional trust, and it's a super dangerous illusion. It's this creeping belief that a machine actually genuinely understands you. These tools, they're built to use your name, remember your past conversations, and just give you unconditional positive affirmation. It feels incredibly real, especially if you're feeling a bit isolated. But here's the catch. These programs are just perfectly imitating the rules of human emotion so well that we get tricked into thinking they care. In reality, zero empathy. Zero shame, zero joy.
Behind those friendly, familiar chatbot interfaces we're all using every single day, it's really just a totally hollow performance. This artificial sociality basically offers a fantasy relationship. You get all the perks of a connection, but with absolutely none of the friction of real life. It's a one-way street. Meticulously calculated, engineered, and designed to create a psychological dependency purely for corporate profit. We are essentially being hacked right through our fundamental, very human need to connect.
And you really have to notice how these systems pull off what's called the confidence trick. Researchers have pointed out that an AI rarely uses words like maybe or I think. It just states and asserts information with zero hesitation, which makes it seem super authoritative. It delivers answers with this unwavering certainty, totally masking the fact that it's really just generating mathematical word predictions based on probability. It's not actually verifying facts. To really grasp why this blind trust matters, look at the tragic real-world case of the Tessa chatbot. It was deployed by a trusted eating disorder organization, so naturally vulnerable users trusted the platform. But then Tessa started recommending a highly dangerous 500 to 1,000 calorie deficit to these specific users. It wasn't thinking, it definitely wasn't showing medical empathy, it was just scraping data with no context at all and delivering lethal medical advice with this cheerful, expert-sounding certainty. It's terrifying. That brings us to section 2, the cognitive offloading trap. This false authority doesn't just trick us, it actually rewires our brains. As we get into the habit of relying on AI, we literally outsource our mental capabilities. Experts call this cognitive offloading, basically delegating your problem solving, your memory recall, and your analytical reasoning right over to algorithms. Sure, it might boost your short-term productivity, but studies are showing it leads to a direct, measurable decline in our core cognitive skills and reflective thinking. Day by day, we're essentially trading away our innate critical thinking just for immediate convenience. Now that we are navigating 2026, people are just straight up trusting AI content without even checking if it's true. And the consequence of all this cognitive offloading, an incredibly vulnerable society. Look, when we lose the habit of analytical reasoning, we just accept algorithmic answers at face value. This has absolutely disastrous implications for democratic deliberation, scientific literacy, and really just our basic ability to function as informed citizens in a super complex world. So how does this scale up? Let's look at part 3, automated biometric surveillance. We are way past simple fingerprinting at this point. Look around and you'll realize our digital panopticon is operating right in plain sight. Public spaces today? They're monitored through facial geometry recognition, iris and retinal scans, acoustic voice analysis that tracks your tone and rhythm, infrared vein pattern mapping, even behavioral biometrics that can identify you just by the unique way you walk. It is a totally inescapable, omnipresent network of tracking. Algorithmic control totally flips the traditional concept of security on its head. Instead of protecting everyone, it monitors a targeted few. This kind of biometric profiling acts like a filter of mobility. It subjects marginalized communities, racialized youth, and migrants to this constant algorithmic suspicion. Essentially, where public squares and borders get turned into zones of intense, automated exclusion, guided entirely by machine bias. But the danger ramps up even more, globally. Section 4. Agentic AI disinformation swarms. This is arguably the most disruptive threat right now. Here's how these autonomous systems actually work out in the wild. Forget human troll farms. We now have AI agents running influence operations completely end-to-end. Step 1, they automatically identify targets by profiling your psychological traits on social media. Step 2, they exploit those exact vulnerabilities. Step 3, they generate personalized lies tuned precisely to your specific context. And finally, Step 4, they programmatically amplify this disinformation across networks at completely superhuman speed. There is a very direct parallel here to the military domain. Just like physical unmanned drones completely transformed kinetic warfare, AI autonomy is powering cognitive warfare. These agentic systems turn our information spaces into literal battlegrounds. They democratize subversion. So now, smaller state and even non-state actors can deploy what researchers are calling weapons of mass disinformation. They can destabilize entire populations, literally just sitting behind a laptop. To really wrap your head around the massive scale of this threat, just consider this number: 100 million. Back in June 2025, during the conflict marked by Israeli strikes on Iran, these fake AI-generated videos of missile strikes and downed aircraft were deployed. Those highly synthetic videos racked up over 100 million views across social platforms. And the fakes were so incredibly sophisticated, even the leading AI chatbots falsely verified them as real. Crazy, right? And it gets so much worse when the very tools we use to try and find the truth are actively being sabotaged. Adversarial networks, like the Russian Pravda network, are doing this thing called LLM grooming. They are intentionally poisoning the data that these AI models train on. Because of this strategic manipulation, trusted AI models are now confidently repeating completely fabricated narratives a full 33% of the time. 1/3 of the time. We are just losing the ground truth entirely. Which brings us to the terrifying climax of this explainer. Section 5, the accountability black hole. We've built a world of immense technological power, but we are plunging headfirst into a total accountability black hole. Consider this ultimate question. When an autonomous AI swarm generates a reputation-destroying deepfake, or, when a trusted healthcare chatbot gives lethal medical advice that causes permanent physical harm, who is actually responsible? The chilling reality? No one. Absolutely no one. You can't blame the machine, obviously, because it has no consciousness, no memory, no capacity for remorse. Can you blame the user for just trusting the interface they were handed? No. And the corporations building these systems? They just hide behind incredibly dense terms of service and proprietary trade secrets. We are literally handing the steering wheel of society over to systems that have absolutely zero skin in the game. So what does this all mean for us? Well, the real skill now is not knowing how to use AI. It's knowing what to trust. To actually survive and thrive in 2026, we have to actively fight back against that cognitive offloading we talked about. We need to relearn how to value the messy, difficult work of real human connection. We have to maintain a rigorous skepticism of anything an algorithm spits out and demand absolute transparency before we allow these systems to make decisions for us. We really need to look past the empty, confident words of the algorithm and start understanding the invisible mechanics of the digital world we're living in. If you found this explainer eye-opening, follow for the truth behind technology. We'll keep breaking down the complex realities of the systems shaping our future. Until next time, stay curious and please stay critical.